Hi, it's Laurie Jonas again. I'm going to make a page. I'm going to do another mixed media painting, and my son wants a hummingbird. And so what I did was I looked for a hummingbird coloring page and printed it out on regular paper, because the thinner, I think it stays better. And so I'm going to use this Jenny Bowling Ranger Lemon Drop because I have it. And I'm actually, let me see if you can see this, dabbing it onto my rubber stamp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right over this flower like this with the dots. It's going to go right over the whole thing like that. And I think that looks nice, so I'm going to do it again right over the flower like that look. Now I'm going to take my spray. We all have seen it. It's called Mr. Hughes, and I have lots of spray. I just need to get it out. And I'm going to spray this on the very same stamp. And you might get some on the page if you see. I got a little bit on the page. Just one little spray. But I don't think it's going to make a difference. And I'm going to do the same thing over the body and the wings. And I'm just going to stamp right over it, because I like this dot. And so this way you can see that I stamped over the flower and the bird. Now I'm going to give it a spray, the birdie, because I like that look. And the bird sprayed. Let me see if I can find this color. It's yellow, gold, smoots. I just bought some to see how it would look, and I'm going to spray that over the yellow flower. Just the top, and then you get some of the beak and the face too. See? And I'm going to pretty up this little thing. Okay, now I'm going to take my green and put a little bit on here. This is just acrylic. This is just dark green. And I'm going to take my lighter green, it's called medium green, and this is just like the cheapest paint I could get at Walmart. I don't use my nice paints on this. I probably should. It probably will last longer. I'm going to take a little yellow. It's important that, and it's not even open. A little yellow, and I'm going to show you a little bit of mixing. And some brown, some light brown. See, I have two, so that I can just move this away. Oh, that's really not working. No, might not be. Oh, there we go. So I might not be able to do the light brown. Light brown and dark brown. And if I had black and white, I would, but I ran out of that. It's the first thing that goes. So now I'm going to paint the stem. I'm going to use the darker brown. I'm going to go right down the stem. Goes right over the yellow, and then you could see some of the yellow underneath it. It's pretty neat. I'm going to do a little bit of brown on the sides of the stems. You can see that I'm going right down the sides. And then I'm going to go right down the side of this one. And then the flower looks like this. And what I did with for this, if you wanted to do the same hummingbird, I just went online and looked for hummingbird coloring pages, and I don't like I like realistic ones. So now I'm going to take a little bit of this yellow and a little bit of this darker green, and I'm just going to dab it, a little yellow, a little green, and I'm going to go through this. And if you want to try to just do one stroke at a time, that way you get the yellow and green. You dip the yellow, and then you dip the green, then you dip the yellow, and then you dip the green. You just go straight down. Try to do one strokes. And you want to leave them a little white. Okay, whoop, sorry. Can you see those yellow and green streaks? That's what you want it to look. You want it to look realistic in some way, but artistic too. So, oh, you can't see it. Sorry. So I'm gonna dip these strokes on this side went up, and these strokes on this side went down. And I did leave blank spots in the middle because I wanted to see the yellow dots. Do it. Now with this one, I'm going to add a little red. A little yellow next to it. I'm going to pull this color down like this. Then I'm going to pull the yellow into it. I'm going to make my own little orange. And the reason why I like to make it my own is because then I can make it the swirly effect. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go right up the lines. It's like I'm tracing it with the orange and yellow. Trace all the black with the orange that we just made, and if you could see it, some of it's lighter than others, and because we went over it, because we blended it together, I mean, I think that's pretty. Now I'm gonna rinse it out. I want to leave some of that light yellow in there. So once again, I'm just going to go over it with my regular yellow and just trace over the orange. But you want to leave some blank spots so that you can see the lighter yellow too, because we sprayed that. And it's alright if some of the orange gets in it. That's why we're doing it when it's wet. We're going to take this same orange that we made, try to get a little yellow in it, and go over the front of the beak. It's alright if you go out of lines because we're going to be trimming this anyway. We'll be cutting it afterwards. So basically, I just went over the lines that were already in it with orange. Now I'm going to go into my yellow and go over the top with it and the bottom, just straight down, just to make it last. I want the I'm going to go in this lighter brown. I didn't even clean the brush, and I'm just going to put a little dot in the eye. Now I'm going to put a dab of blue on it. Can you see this? Sorry. Dab of blue. I'm going to do right. So open. Dab of blue. And this is ultramarine blue. It's probably supposed to be something else, but I'm going to go over, I'm going to dip it in the blue, dip it in the green, dip it in the blue, dip it in the green. Again, go over these lines here. Blue, green, and I'm just barely dipping it. Blue, green. I'm going to take my yellow and put some highlights. Can you see this through the wings and on top of the wings? And it's very lightly. This is very watery. I'm going to go over the whole thing. All the wings on the bottom too. I'm going to put it through the water. Grab the yellow again. It's alright if someone's darker and just go right over. It's good to have some brighter spots than others. And now I'm going to take my spritz again, this blue spritz, I'm going to spritz right over the bird again. Because if you dab it just here and there, some of this